Hey, welcome back to the channel, you guys. I've been wanting to talk about this movie. I really like this movie. I'm telling you, man. This is a really good movie, and I wanted to do this one sitting down because I wanted to actually read the back of it. It's called the Rosswell. It's called Rosswell. Yeah, Rosswell. Uh, I really love this movie, and it's Roswell, the UFO cover up. Roswell, the UFO cover up. I wanted to get this on 4K, but I couldn't do it on 4K because it only comes in DVD. So I was like, man, I want this on DVD, but it stars Cal McLaughlin and Martin Sheen and Dwight Yoakam. And this movie is like, this movie came out in 1994. And I remember watching this movie a long time ago. And I always when I was a kid growing up out in the country, and I grew up out in the country a lot more than I did in town. I grew up in this little town, then I moved to a big city. And I did not like the big city at all. So my mom moved me out to the country with my aunt and uncle, God bless her soul. Um, but I was always fascinated by Bigfoot, UFO encounters, paranormal stuff like that. I was always that way as a kid. Science fiction movies. I grew up watching science fiction stuff, and monsters and all that kind of stuff. But I remember when I was growing up, I always heard about the Roswell, New Mexico. Supposed flying saucer that crashed. And then as you grow older, you look at a lot of stuff as you grow up. As I grew up, I graduated in 1978, so 80s was my little decade of like experience in life, and like wow. So growing up I grew up in the 70s, looking at stuff. So I was always fascinated about what's up there. You know what I mean? So I'll read the plot synopsis and then we'll go from there. But it says, shocking, fascinating, and terrifying because it's true. In July of 1947, somewhere in the desert near Roswell, New Mexico, a rancher stumbles onto a crash site and a shard remains of a strange and unidentifiable aircraft. During the next 72 hours, the United States military will seal off the site, remove all evidence of the saucer, and perpetrate a most notorious cover-up. It says perpetrate the most notorious cover-up in the history of our government. Was that really a UFO that disappeared from the desert in the history books about 50 years ago? So that's what it says. Was that really a UFO that disappeared from the desert and the history books almost 50 years ago? From the crash to the cover-up to the conspiracy of the silence of one man who will now risk his reputation, his life, to find out the truth. And I read that the best way I can. A lot of times when I start reading stuff, man, I seem like I get fumbled on the roads and stuff. Man, I ain't gonna lie, I love this movie. Man, I love this movie, and I am so glad I was able to buy this movie. The weirdest thing is, when I tried to buy this movie, it was like $80. It was $80 like almost a year ago. 2 years ago, I tried to buy it. It was on eBay for like $100 and something. I was like, why is that movie so expensive? A lot of people love this movie. I get that. But I always was fascinated. Are you guys fascinated about some of the stuff that was covered up? Some of the stuff that you hear weird stories about? This is one that really stuck with me as a kid growing up. So man, it's so well made. And I tell you what, man, can you imagine coming across a flying saucer and seeing somebody from a otherly worldly beings? That would just freak me out. But I remember being a kid growing up, and I don't know why, I was always fascinated about what's up there in those stars and what's up there in all that darkness. And when you look up at the stars, it's just vast, man. So yeah, I just wanted to drop this for you guys. I just wanted to know, have you guys ever heard of this movie called Roswell? And do you have it? And did you ever watch it? Did you ever watch this movie? Because whew, man, such a good movie. And it's a well-made movie. I mean, it's a well-made movie. It's so well made. I mean, it is so well made. And Yeah, just it took 350 eyewitnesses and 30 years to tell this story. Yeah, but I was just glad to get this movie, you know, because I always wanted to. I wish they would 4K restore it, but it might not be in that high demand because a lot of people might not be in these type of movies. But this for you guys out there that watches my channel, I get into a lot of really decent movies. I'm not into a bunch of garbage, you know what I mean? And I won't specify the stuff that I don't like, but it's just that some of y'all out there that follows this channel, there's a lot of stuff I just can't get into. Before I was getting in front of this camera and talking about I can't stand what they did and this is whatever and all that. I can't do that. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that channel. I don't want to be that channel. But anyway, Rosswell. Yeah, a lot of times you get on Discovery Channel. You know, they got a lot of channels on there. You know, aliens in Atlanta. Alaska's got a lot of strange occurrences and all that kind of stuff. No, I'm not into a bunch of houses being haunted and stuff like that. I'll watch those shows, but I ain't into that. I just don't get into that. I get into like more of a I like the paranormal stuff, stuff that's not explained and stuff like that. Moving objects, you don't know why they got moved and all that. I love watching all that stuff, but I'm really into this though, like the Bigfoot, how come we ain't never found the Bigfoot yet, I mean, we done did everything, man. How we done even been out to space, but we ain't never been able to find the Bigfoot. They have eluded us for years. And I remember watching the Patterson Giblin tape, and I was a little chubby butt living in St. Louis, Missouri. And I remember watching that Patterson Giblin, and then I went and seen a movie called Boggy Creek. Now, if you watch that movie now, it's a low quality made movie, but I remember going to the theaters to go watch Boggy Creek. I mean, my sister was alive. That's the one that died of cancer and shit. Man, it's crazy. Jeannie, I love that woman. Man, that's my sister. I have 4 sisters. I got 3 now, but yeah, Jeannie, I was spending the weekend with her, and I went to go see Legend of Boggy Creek, and that was about Bigfoot encounters down there in Louisiana swamp. But I always wondered about those creatures, And then I heard there's other things out there that there's stuff in the sea and some of these big lakes, I bet you there's stuff in there they ain't even seen that's been eluding people. They just don't want to be around them. They get seen every once in a blue moon. Same way with this, I was wondering, we got so much technology. I just wondered, a lot of our technology, I just wondered if it's due to the fact that we, spliced into some of this stuff that we got from them so we could be a little bit more advanced. Not just here in the United States, but Russia and all them other places too. They probably ain't gonna tell everybody stuff. They don't want us to know the truth. But then again, it could be all fake. Who knows, But Rosswell, man, love this movie. I love this movie. This movie is so good. Let me know if you guys watch this movie. Let me know if you're, always thought that, we're not alone. One of my favorite shows was X-Files. Oh, I love X-Files, man. Oh, man, them first 6 seasons was phenomenal. I did watch them. I did watch all of them, but the first 6 seasons is the best X-Files. And then you get to, I think about season 8, I started dropping off, and I did watch all of it. But I watched the newer ones that came out too. But I was always into Fox Mulder and Agent Scully and all that stuff that they was doing in some of those shows. That was a great show. Fringe was another good show that was, kind of similar. But anyway, God bless. I just don't want to get off track. But anyway, Rosswell. Did you guys see this movie? If so, check it out if you're into this kind of stuff. God bless. Take care. We'll catch you guys in the next video. We'll see you.